Welcome back to the Accessible Art History YouTube channel. This week, I have another addition to the Art History Mystery series. The Mask of Agamemnon is to ancient Greece as the funeral mass of Tutankhamun is to ancient Egypt. But there are some that believe that it's actually fake. Heinrich Schliemann, the amateur archaeologist who discovered Troy, had a less than stellar reputation when it came to his finds. This has led doubts about the credibility of some of the artifacts, including this spectacular gold mask. So to find out more, keep on watching. Before we dive into the mystery itself, I think it's important to establish some background information. The city of Troy has long held a special place in our collective imaginations. According to the famous Homeric epic, it was the center of a powerful kingdom. It was also the site of a famous battle, waged for the possession of the most beautiful woman in the world, Helen, Queen of Sparta. Until the late 19th century, when Heinrich Schliemann discovered it, there were many who thought it was entirely a figment of Homer's creation, or, at the very least, an exaggeration of an ancient battle. Agamemnon, for whom the mask is named, was one of the participants of the Trojan War. He was the king of Mycenae and brother-in-law to Helen of Troy. When she left his brother Menelaus for Paris of Troy, Agamemnon answered his brother's call for war and rounded up the, quote, reluctant Greeks to sail for Troy. However, at one point along the way, he insults the goddess Artemis. The only way to appease her wrath and continue the journey to Troy is to sacrifice his own daughter, the princess Iphigenia. Agamemnon survived the war, only to be killed by his wife and her lover when he returned home to Mycenae. If you want to learn more about the discovery of Troy, you can listen to the podcast episode about it by clicking the link in the description or the I in the corner. Alright, now that we've got that background information out of the way, let's take a closer look at the star of this video, the Mask of Agamemnon. It is made of a thin sheet of gold that was hammered to resemble a man's face. It's highly likely that it was used as a funeral mask. It was discovered in grave 5 at the site of grave circle A. The mask is one of 5 discovered in Troy, indicating that the deceased were probably of high status. Always the lover of Greek mythology, Schliemann chose to name the mask after the ancient warrior king. However, with a find as beautiful and historically significant as this mask, could it be too good to be true? It is no secret that Schliemann embellished stories of his finds. Sometimes he even made them up. So this fact has led archaeologists and historians to wonder if he planted a mask in his dig at Troy to make himself seem even greater than the public thought and ensure his place in the history books. There are some pieces of strong evidence that indicate the mask is fake. Firstly, Gunter Kopek of New York University's Institute of Fine Arts analyzed the stylistic elements of the piece and contends that it is quite different from other masks found from the same area and dating from the same time period. According to Kopek, this can be particularly seen in the eyebrows and facial hair. Secondly, it is documented that Schliemann toyed with the idea of having copies of his finds made. This is because, in order to dig at Troy, he had to make a deal with the Ottoman Turk government that ruled the area at the time. Part of the agreement was splitting any treasure that was found at the site, but if Schliemann could give the governments the fakes, he could keep the real ones for himself. Thirdly, Schliemann was, in all honesty, a shifty fellow. Memoirs of his contemporaries stated he who hideth can find, and called him a swindler and a con man. Another reason to be suspicious of him was the mask was discovered right before the dig closed. A few days before its discovery, Schliemann was absent, and allegedly a relative of his wife Sophia was spotted at a local goldsmith shop. If the Mask of Agamemnon is a fake, then it would have major implications for the archaeological world. This piece is considered one of the pinnacles of Greek art and would be a shame if it was a ploy by a greedy treasure hunter. What do you think? Is it real or is it fake? Let me know in the comments below.